Social Security, freezing your check, and future raises. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know about this plan right here in the video. Let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of a plan that is circling around, which would freeze your Social Security benefit checks and any future raises. Wait, they can't do that? Actually, they can, and that's why I want to bring it to your attention, because this would not be a good plan for the beneficiary, but it would also achieve one of the other goals that they want to bring in for Social Security. And again, why I want to bring this to your attention, because this is actually a big deal, and unfortunately, it's getting a little bit of traction. Let's get into it and talk about the details and this crazy plan to freeze your Social Security benefit checks and any future raises. Really fast before we do, thanks for joining me. If you have not done so yet, please make sure to subscribe down below. Do yourself a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, as things are changing very rapidly right now, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day, advocating on your behalf, keeping you updated with what's going on, doing all the research that you don't need to, and bringing it to you in these short videos, as things are happening very fast right now, and it's all about you, the low income and fixed income beneficiary, which, by the way, the more people that we have here in this community, the more power, the more impact, and the more influence that we have as we reach out to these lawmakers with the infamous letters that I send out on a regular basis, asking them to do something beneficial for the low income and fixed income. If you've been around for a while now, you know what I'm talking about with those letters. They're pretty good, and there actually is some legislation out there that seems very similar to exactly what we've asked out of lawmakers over the last couple years. Either way, I'm here for you. We need to stick together right now. It's us against the lawmakers, and we've got to tell them what we need right now, which is raises to benefits, checks, monthly checks, benefit increases, stimulus, whatever it happens to be. We've got to let them know. And again, I'm here for you to continue advocating for you in any way that I possibly can. So please subscribe down below if you haven't done so. Also, share this video or any other videos here on the channel with your friends, family, social media, and let's get into it and talk about all the details. And again, thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate literally every single one of you. All right, let's get into it and talk about this crazy plan. What do they want to do by freezing benefit checks, any future raises, and what do I mean by this? Because honestly, it sounds a little bit scary, right? Well, don't get too scared about it, but let me explain what they're talking about and why this is getting some traction. All right, so let me explain this much. It all comes down to Social Security insolvency. Now, you've heard me talk about this before. Let me explain this really quickly, okay? So as we know right now, the Social Security trust funds have about $2.7 trillion. It's a lot of money, okay? 2.7 trillion. We're not talking thousand, we're not talking million or even billion, trillion. It's a ton of money, okay? It's an unbelievable amount of money. It'd be super fun to have that. You could not spend that in your life, I guarantee it, okay? You could buy countries. You could buy continents with that money. It's nuts. Anyway, my point is they have all this money in the trust fund. Eventually, in about 9-ish years or so, it's going to be insolvent. In other words, all the money is gone, okay? That means benefits will need to be reduced in a pretty major way. Well, as a result of this, we've heard all these lawmakers and a variety of other people coming out with bills, packages, proposals, ideas, and all kinds of different things coming out suggesting this is my plan to reform Social Security to make sure that we remain solvent for the next billion years or some, huge amount of time like that, okay? Obviously, I was being a little bit sarcastic, but you get my idea, right? They're all talking about this as in their plan. It's the best one in the world to reform Social Security and remain solvent for many more years into the future, okay? Now, here is this new brainiac plan that they come out with to basically freeze benefit checks and to basically reduce any future raises, okay? Let me talk about what's going on here. So they're talking about the details of this, and they've looked at the COLA. Now, again, let me talk about this really quickly here, okay? We know the COLA comes out each and every year. It's different every year for the most part, right? However, historically over the last 10 years, it has been averaging 2.6%. That is the historic COLA over 10 years averaged out, okay? 2.6%. It's not a ton. It is definitely not a ton, but it's also something that we want, right? We'll gladly take it. It only translates into a few dollars per month, but compounded over time, it does translate into a little bit more money, and we certainly want it. Even though it's not much, and it's always an insult, and we're always disappointed by it, we definitely want it, okay? We're not like, hey, just keep the COLA. We want that. But basically what they're saying is, hey, wait, The COLA every year translates into billions of dollars more going out of Social Security, the trust funds, and being paid out to beneficiaries because of the COLA. The COLA literally costs Social Security billions of dollars more every year because of a little raise to benefits for over 71 million people, rapidly approaching 72 million beneficiaries. Well, they're looking at this thinking, wait, if we're trying to cut costs here and to make sure that Social Security remains solvent for many more years into the future, if we simply just cut out the COLA, as in if we just stop the COLA, guess what? It would save Social Security billions of dollars a year. And again, like I said a minute ago, compounded over years, over the next 9 or so years, this would translate into billions upon billions, tens of billions, well over $100 billion. I was going to say 6 figures, but it's well over 6 figures. But my point is, hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 9 or so years simply by cutting out the COLA. That's what they're talking about, okay? Now, this is something they technically could do if they just so wanted to do so. They could cut out the COLA, okay, if they wanted to do so. But the whole point is they're basically stepping over dollars to save pennies here, okay? At the end of the day, let's just say that they did this, okay? Now, again, I'm not suggesting that they're going to, but this is something that I've seen floating around out there that they're saying, let's cut the COLA. Let's just stop giving a COLA out every year because we'd save all this money. We'd save $100 billion plus over the next 9 or whatever years, right? Now, this is something they could do, but let's look at it this way. Okay, Social Security pays out about $1.2 to $1.3 trillion a year in benefits. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's like $100+ billion a month is what they pay out for beneficiaries in the form of benefits on an annualized basis, right? Annualized and monthly basis. Now, if they were to cut the COLA out, and let's just say that it saves over the next 9 years or so, let's just say that it saves $200 billion. It's a lot of money. It's a ton of money, right? But if they're paying out over $100 billion a month, what does this really do to insolvency? It pushes out insolvency, maybe, in this example I'm giving here, of $200 billion that it saves over the next 9 years. It pushes out insolvency, what, 2 months? Wow, guys, great plan, right? It saved insolvency by 2 months. My point is, it's not going to do anything, okay? By cutting the COLA, by reducing the COLA, or completely ending the COLA and any potential future raises for beneficiaries does nothing for insolvency. Now, if it pushed out insolvency for, say, 5 or 7 or 10 years, we would have a much better argument here and say, well, it's kind of reasonable, right? It kind of makes sense to do this. In this situation and the examples I'm giving you here, it maybe pushes out insolvency for a couple months, right? Maybe. Is that really the objective we're looking for here? Basically, give the beneficiaries the short end of the stick, stiff the beneficiaries for the next 9 years so that we can push out insolvency and basically give Congress, lawmakers, 2 more months to work and not do anything. Doesn't make any sense, right? If we look through this logically, again, if you've been watching the videos on the channel for a while now, I like to look through everything logically because that's just how I'm wired. That's how I work, right? I look through everything logically. Does this make logical sense? My answer is no. This is idiotic. This is dumb, okay? This does not make any sense whatsoever to cut the COLA. Even though it's a little bit, it's not much. We know that it does not keep up with real inflation as they claim it does. It does not keep up with inflation, and this is the worst idea in the history of the world to cut the COLA. Even though it is not much, it translates into billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars over long periods of time, and it will only do a very minimal impact to the insolvency issue that we're dealing with, right? So again, great idea, not. It's not a good idea, okay? It does nothing. It basically just stiffs the beneficiaries. It makes us fall further behind. And then if they were to do this and reinstitute the COLA at some point, guess what? Would they give us back pay on all of that, all those years where they stiffed us on the COLA? I doubt it. They wouldn't do that, right? They wouldn't say, hey, we fixed up all the finances of Social Security. We're all good to go now, and we're going to give you a back pay of, say, 50% or whatever because we stiffed you for the last 10 years. Not happening, right? It's not going to do it. So all this would translate into is beneficiaries getting less benefits at some point in the future and falling further and further behind than what beneficiaries already are because the COLA does not keep up with real inflation for fixed income beneficiaries, as we've talked about many times before, right? So again, not a good idea. So do you see the point behind all this? Now, let me be fair with you. Let me give you my 100% transparent response on this. Do I think this is going to happen? I don't think this will happen, but I'm going to say this much as well. I wouldn't put this one past them, okay? Why? They have a history of trying to save pennies by stepping over dollars, okay? So that's why I'm saying I would not put this past them one bit. I don't think it's going to happen, but I also wouldn't put it past them, okay? They have history of doing dumb stuff like this. Like, hey guys, we're going to save $100 billion here, but at the end of the day, they lose sight of the big picture, which is you guys totally dropped the ball on this, right? So that's why I'm saying on this. I think it has a small chance of actually happening, but at the same time, we definitely want to watch this one very closely because it may be one of these things that they say, oh, look at that. We've got our eyes on $100 billion there at some point in the future, and look at all that money, right? Yeah, you're right. It is, a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting $100 billion. It's a ton of money, right? Way more than any of us probably have. I would have guessed anyway. I think I'm pretty safe to say that. But this is just something that they're talking about. So anyway, let's keep a cautious eye on this one and see what happens here going forward. But let's cross our fingers that this one gets thrown right in the incinerator, right in the burn pile, and that they do nothing with this because this is just plain old stupid, right? So anyway, I want to bring this to your attention because we've got to watch everything very closely right now. This would be a terrible idea, not a good idea. It would not do anything for beneficiaries. It would not do anything for insolvency whatsoever other than maybe a couple months at most over, 10 years from now or 9 years, whatever insolvency, whenever that happens, right? What they really need to do is figure out an actionable plan. They need to figure out what they're really going to do with Social Security and how it would actually impact the beneficiaries and do it now rather than waiting another 9 years. That's what they really need to do. So anyway, I want to keep this everything going on here. I want to bring this all to your attention so you can see what's actually happening here. Anything that's being talked about, anything that's being proposed, stuff like that, so you can see what's going to go on because at the end of the day, remember this much. It all impacts you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, how much money you get, how much money you save, all kinds of things like this, and how much money you get deposited into your account every single month. Very, very important. So anyway, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Again, subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't done so yet. Totally free to do so. Hit that like button down below. Again, totally free. Share the video with your friends, family, social media. Again, 100% free to do so. And go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel, including those that I have linked down below in the description. Great content there as well. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Take care, and I'll catch you again later in the next video, and hopefully I can talk a little bit better on the next video. All right. Thanks again for watching. I truly appreciate it. Have a good one, and catch you.